Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning over there, and good morning over there. Let me see by a show of hands, who here believes that the very last thing we should be doing is cleaning the ocean? Wow, very few. I'm here to have a quick conversation just about that. See, I think that humanity's had it all wrong. I really believe that the very last thing the world should be doing is cleaning the ocean. The very last. As a humanity, it should be the last thing. Now, I recognize that there is a garbage truck of plastic entering the ocean every minute of every hour of every day. Millions of animals are dying just from encountering plastic. We're also experiencing the fastest rate of extinction ever, and plastics in the food chain, and I'm still here expressing that the very last thing that humanity should be doing is cleaning the ocean. The very last. It's no different than walking into your kitchen with the sink overflowing. If water was spilling all over the floor, seeping into the walls, soaking into the foundation of the home, jeopardizing the home, you would probably panic too. And you're going to need to choose bucket, mop, plunger. What do you do first? Turn off the tap. Why aren't we doing the same thing for the ocean? I mean, it would be pointless to mop or plunge or scoop up the water if we don't turn off the tap first. Thank you. Thank you. You know, even if there's a lot of people that want to make some change around the world, and there's the Ocean Cleanup Project that wants to go and scoop up plastic in the middle of the ocean. And there's all kinds of companies that are trying to use ocean plastic in their manufacturing. And there's all kinds of well-meaning beach cleanup programs. And even if they were 100% successful, it'd still be too little too late. Just this year, humanity is racing to produce over 300 million tons of plastic. That number is growing exponentially, by the way. With population increase, the emerging poor, plastic production is ramping up. Now, of that 300 million plus ton, roughly 8 million to 12 million ton are flowing into the ocean to meet the other 150 million ton already there. And it should be no surprise that most of the plastic, over 80% of the plastic, is coming from those countries with extreme poverty. Now imagine living in like extreme poverty, ultra poverty. You've got no floor, no door. You have no access to education, no hope for your future, no access to medical care, no sense of security. What consideration would you give to recycling if you lived in that condition? I mean, it would be beyond your realm of imagination to do so. And we can't blame them. And it's exactly those two conditions that led me to create the Plastic Bank. We're an ecosystem that reveals value in waste. Now, we've grown to be the world's largest chain of stores for the ultra poor, where everything in the store is available to be purchased using plastic garbage. Everything. Most proud to offer school tuition, access to school tuition, medical insurance, Wi-Fi, cell phone minutes, power, sustainable cooking fuel, high-efficiency stoves. And we keep wanting to add everything else that the world's poor need and can't afford. All available to be purchased using plastic garbage. Now this year we're going to add fortified milk powder, and with one of our great global relationships, access to fuel. And our collection centers are more like community centers. This one in Haiti. Simple. But a point of engagement where one of our collectors, like Miss Lisa Nassis, can earn a living from collecting material from the streets, from door to door, from business to business, and we give her a real entrepreneurial experience. We give her entrepreneurial education, we give her an education around material handling and hygiene, and we ultimately are creating an ecosystem for Lisa to have an unlimited income opportunity. The more that she works, the more that she makes, the more that she makes, the more that she works, the greater impact in the environment and in society itself as well. So she earns a living by collecting from door to door from the streets. And at the end of her collecting day, she brings back to one of our collection centers. And at the collection center, she's greeted, she's acknowledged, she's loved. And the material is weighed, it's checked for quality. And then a value is transferred into an online account for her, an online savings account. So now Lisa, through her collection, has a bank account, a savings account, which is an asset that we hope eventually she'll be able to borrow against, providing a level of financial inclusion for Lisa. And because that value is in an online account, not only does she have a savings account and an asset, but she has security against robbery. Imagine, again, living without a door or a floor, nothing able to save, never having a value more than the present moment that you're in. And I think most importantly, as we transfer that value into an account that she has savings, that she can borrow against, what we've really created is a new sense of worth for Lisa. And even the plastic wins because it has an increased sense of value. That plastic, we add even more value to. We separate it by color, by type. We remove caps and labels and rings. We try to provide as much of a high-quality feedstock as possible. And then we either shred it or bale it and get it ready for export as a raw material. So it's no different than walking over acres and acres of diamonds. If you're to walk over acres of diamonds, diamonds everywhere, shining in the sun, maybe there's bars of gold, maybe there's rubies and gems, and you want to bend over and pick them up, but you recognize that there's no bank that you can take it to, no store that you can spend it at. No one will exchange anything with you for diamonds and rubies. You as well would probably leave them on the ground as rocks too. Now that material we collect, we sell. We sell it to great brands like the English brand Marks & Spencer's, who's commissioned the use of social plastic in their manufacturing. They're leading to have a global store chain where everything in the store has social plastic at its heart. Coat hangers, foodstuffs, everything will have social plastic packaging. Or the German consumer goods company Henkel, who is using social plastic directly into their manufacturing. We've really closed the loop in that circular economy so that anyone can go to a store shelf, remove plastic, buy something, buy a shampoo, buy a laundry detergent that has social plastic packaging, take it off the shelf, and you would directly be removing plastic from ocean-bound waterways and alleviating poverty at the same time. That's an ecosystem. And that business model is completely replicatable. We have quite a few different business models. I'm going to share a few with you now. One that I'm proud of, which had me invited to the Vatican, is an opportunity for any congregation in the world, like we are operating in Sao Paulo, the opportunity for congregation to not just bring offering on Sunday, but to bring the recycling with them as well. And then engaging the church with the poor. using the value that's collected to make a difference in their community. Or I think even more profoundly, we could engage a mosque in London and engage a church impoverished in Cairo, creating almost a peace mission. Or like the Shell Energy Company, who's invested in our plastic offset program. Plastic offset is like carbon offset, but plastic offset invests in recycling infrastructure where it doesn't already exist and provides an incentive for the poor to collect more material by giving a price increase. Or like within Vancouver, with a bottle deposit program. Now, anyone here that has recycling, that takes it to a return at depot or an express center at a return at depot, has the opportunity to not just take their recycling, to not just take the few pennies or dollars back, but at an express depot, you could simply press a button and the value of your recycling is transferred to the account of the poor around the world. So your recycling here could, in fact, influence the collection of hundreds or thousands of bottles around the world. The value of our recycling can, in fact, have profound, lasting change in the hearts and minds of the poor and prohibit the flow of plastic from entering the ocean. Or within the slums of Manila, where the smallest little grocery market, they're really like 10 square feet. They're called a sari-sari. If anyone here is from the Philippines, you'd know. There are hundreds of thousands throughout the country. It's just a little grocery store. It usually has sachet and a few small things. It's a small entrepreneur trying to engage an impoverished community. And now, with a simple scale and a smartphone, even that small grocery store can accept social plastic by weight as a form of payment. So that even that small grocery store has the ability to have a profound social and environmental impact in their community, alleviate poverty, and gain more business, because social plastic is used as cash to buy things in the store. Or, and one that I'm most excited about, and what is being revealed is a giant global pharmaceutical company that wants to seed us into Africa as an add-on to medical clinics, to allow the world's poor to have access to life-saving pharmaceuticals using plastic as cash. That's profound. Those are some of the models, and there's more. And really, what is common in all of that is social plastic. And social plastic is cash. It's a currency. It's money. It's a globally recognizable and tradable currency that, when used, alleviates poverty and cleans the environment simultaneously. See, it's social plastic. It's not a recycled plastic. It's not a virgin plastic. It's social plastic. It's a material whose value is transferred through the lives of the people who encounter it, rich and poor. That entire ecosystem is managed and supported through an IBM architected and engineered blockchain banking application for the poor. I'm here today because this is a technology solution for the world that provides for the safe, authentic transfer of value globally. Deposit your recycling in Vancouver and a family could withdraw building bricks or cell phone minutes in the slums of Manila. Or in Germany, deposit your recycling in Germany and a family could withdraw cooking fuel. Or even Lisa Nassis, one of our collectors, has the power to deposit her recycling in downtown Port-au-Prince, and her mother could withdraw cash or cooking fuel across the city. Now, we continue to grow, we continue to expand. We're powerfully in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Learned how to operate and grow in abject illiteracy, abject poverty, scarcity, violence. And we took that over the last few years and we created a business system from it. And we're now operating fully in the Philippines, continuing to grow, with a petroleum company expanding this next year to an additional 1,000 locations in the Philippines. We're in Brazil, operating within Sao Paulo, moving now to Rio. One of our new successful relationships is taking us into Bali. And we continue to grow and expand, and we're collecting millions of kilos of material. We continue to add new partners, new customers, more importantly, more collectors every day. We continue to make a profound impact for the world. And even as a result of our relationship with Henkel, Henkel's committed to use over 100 million kilograms of social plastic in their manufacturing. It's a long way to go to get them all that. But 100 million kilos at roughly 50 cents per kilo, that's leaving tens of millions of dollars into the account and the hands of the poor and the emerging economies. There's a long way to go. And so I began the conversation expressing that the last thing the world should do is clean the ocean, because we know we need to turn off the tap. Thank you.